Mashala. I'm the editor of African Farming. Hey, my name is Peter Lebogang Mashala. I'm the editor of African Farming. Today we are at the Tlhokomela Mobu Farm here in the Radium area in Limpopo, just outside Bela-Bela. We gave this farm a visit. The Tlhokomela Mobu just means looking after the soil. So what's happening here is that we've got a couple of farmers here who are doing regenerative farming using cattle, sheep, pigs and chickens. So the farmers here are practicing what we call regenerative farming, where they do high density grazing, high density rotational grazing, where they use the cattle, sheep, pigs, and then the chickens. All this is done on a 60 hectare farm. The 60 hectare farm is hosting about 100 cattle. Yes, 100 cattle. About 100 sheep, just plus minus 500, between 500 and 700 pigs, and over 2,000 chickens. So these animals are used in rotation to try and keep the soil in good health. So with me I've got Mr. Anderson Mutasa, who runs the operations here, who's going to explain to us how this system works. How actually they managing to run an operation like this on about 60 hectares of land. Mr. Mutasa, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Good. I'm fancy meeting you again here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Anderson, we've spoken about this many times. I mean, like, I've been here a couple of times, so I thought maybe today we need to bring the farmers here to witness what is happening here. So if you can explain to us what kind of system you guys are running on this farm.
Okay. Afternoon, everyone. My name is Anderson Mutasa, a farmer next to Radium, and we farm with cattle, pigs, sheep, chickens, and our farm is called the Tlhokomela Mobu. By Tlhokomela Mobu, we means looking after the soil. So by looking after the soil, we use the energy from the animals by moving them from one place to another. So with our concept, we always use the cattle first, followed by the sheep, followed by the pigs, and followed by the chickens. And the number of cattle that we are having goes up to 100, and we have got about 140 sheep, and the sheep is the paid one. And we have got some pigs. The pigs is 500 to 700 pigs and 2,000 chickens. And all these ones, they all practice in the 60 hectare rented area, whereby we move them from one place to another. Even our water everything is portable. The reason why we are trying to use this concept of regen is to try to minimize or try to build up the soil. So by building the soil, then you also have more of the forage for the next year, whereby you can use more animals into a small piece of land. But like what we are doing by using 60 hectares to use all those animals in the same area. So it's the animals themselves that makes the soil and grow their own forage for them to eat.
And I said we're here, we're witnessing it. I mean, like, behind us we've got the head of cattle here, which is put in a small camp. I just want you to explain to us how this system, this rotational system works. So you have the cattle, you start with the cattle, bring it into a fresh camp. So how do you manage the grazing in one camp? I see you use electric fence for creating paddocks. How big are your paddocks, and how often do you move the cattle around for daily rationing of grazing?
Yeah, so with our grazing with the cattle, We only give our cattle a strip whereby they can graze, then they can move to another area. So it takes something like 20 to 30 minutes, depending with the type of grass or the forage that is in that piece of land. Then you move them to another piece. So it's like 30 minutes or 20 minutes every day until 5 o'clock. Then you give them a small paddock whereby they can sleep, and when you give them the paddock for sleep, then they can go back where they were grazing during the day. Then they can also do some pickup for the remains that have remained. Then the following day you can move them to another area forever. They will never come back to where they were yesterday.
So from there you will be putting the sheep where they grazing.
Yeah. Then
why do you put the sheep behind, not directly the chickens or the pigs? Why the sheep?
Now the reason why we put the chickens, we are trying to start with the cattle. We know cattle are also smart, and they love long grass, whereby the sheep doesn't like long grass. So the cattle must mow first. After mowing, followed by the sheep. And the sheep also, they are also smart. They don't want dirties on the grass. So we follow the sheep, and the sheep, they do also the same grazing.
What are the benefits of having cattle on the same paddock, on small paddocks? What are the benefits? What do they do in not only because they grazing, but what else are the benefits of having cattle in what we call the high density? Okay, I'm gonna push it back again. So, what are the benefits of high density grazing in a system like this?
Number one, they concentrate onto the soil with their hooves to make even the soil is soft. So when it rains, all the water runs into the soil by running, instead of running away or creating soil erosion. So that is, even they put their dung together, the urine into that piece of land, and it also builds the soil. And with this system, the other thing is there is easy management when one of your cow is not feeling well or one of your animals is not feeling well. So it's easy identification to see this one is not feeling well, then you can take action on it. And the other thing is there is what we call transference of nutrients, whereby if you open your cattle in a big paddock, it means they go at the place where there is palatable grass only, and they concentrate more than the other areas. And mostly they all go to the water point where they sleep and do everything there. So they are stealing the nutrients from another areas, putting them to the water point. So with this system, your water is also movable, your cattle move. So they are not stealing nutrients too, so they are trying to level all the nutrients into the piece of land that you are grazing.
So you're saying in the system, you are avoiding what we call selective grazing. So the cattle graze everything that's on the land.
Exactly, that is what we want. And what we are also trying to avoid is the grass that they don't like, the cattle must put it down to make it a blanket or a mound to the soil. That also helps even the organisms to sleep in there, and also the termites. They can also have the opportunity to graze all those things. Then it's also helping to create our soil richer and richer with our animals. And you don't have to burn, because if you let your cattle go, then they select the grass. Remember, you left with this tall grass, whereby during winter it's when you find all the people for the previous years, they take a matches and start to burn the land. So we are trying to avoid burning by using the animals to put everything down.
Oh wow! And one thing that I've noticed as well, Anderson, is you've got different type of. You don't stick to one breed of cattle. So you've mixed. I mean, like we discussed this. You've got a mix. So you've got some Dexters, you've got some Borans, you've got some Goonies as well. in some of milk cattle. Why do you keep that differences here?
Yeah, the reason why we are trying to mix the breeds is we are trying to look for the toughness of the system that we are doing, because we have to have the right animal for the right type of farming that you are doing. So with this type of farming, you need a good animal, a tough one. That's why we mix the Dexter, the Boran, the Nguni, the Jersey, and the Milk Master. And also, by so doing, including the Milk Master and the Jersey, we are trying to have a multiple cow that can give you meat and milk. So we are having the milk, and we are having our beef also. Yeah. So our cows are tough to what we are doing according to the environment. And every time when you are farming, it's better to look for the small animals. The small animals doesn't cost you too much, even in terms of drought. You can supply it. It doesn't need more of the food. For example, a Dexter. It's a short cow, but very tough, and it doesn't need more of the food when it goes in terms of supplements. And the fertility also is very good.
We're talking about supplement. I mean, we were discussing this with Hendrik before. I mean, like the cattle are not on supplements. They're not getting supplemented. There's no chemicals here. You don't inject the cattle with any chemicals. I mean, like how is that possible?
Yeah, the possibility can be. Remember, we are moving our cows from one place to another. That can be running away from the disease or even running away from the ticks. So as you move them, the period, by the time you come back, all the eggs that have been left by the ticks, they will be dead because there are no animals there. So that's why you find out our animals doesn't have lots of ticks. They won't get very sick oftenly because of the movement. That is what we have discussed. By moving your animals from one place to another, it also have a limitation in the disease system because they don't stay in one place.
And now you must explain to us now what is happening, because I spoke to you and you said no, now you are actually now just creating a fire belt with the cattle. Please explain to us how you do the fire belt with cattle.
So with our cattle, or all our animals, pigs, cattle, sheep, we can use them to create our fire guard. Because at this farm at Tlhokomela Mobu, we don't have a tractor. The tractor is our animals. The harvester is our animals. So this is the time when we want to prepare for the fire guard. So by making fire guards, we only give them a piece about 300 meters or 100 meters from the boundary inside. Then we graze that piece. So we concentrate too much on that piece so that when fire comes in this area, it will never affect the inside. So we can be able to light off the fire before it gets into the main area.